Hey Internet, today is July 12th, 2012, and I'm going to be mildly existential in this video for a little bit. And basically what brings this on is that it has been raining constantly for the past 6 or so days here in Texas, or at least in my part of Texas, and which is really great because last year we had this massive drought. It literally, as one eloquent rancher on the KUHF News Radio said, it just slap forgot to rain. And it's pretty much it. And I knew the man was from Texas before the little radio announcer lady said, oh, we're talking to so-and-so, a rancher in such and such Texas. I'm like, yeah, that's from Texas. But anyways, so it's been raining, and with all this rain, the ground is just saturated. Everything. I mean, the last couple of times I've read up on what's going on in the UK and the BBC, and it's like, oh, it's raining, so that must mean it's summer. Oh, they get about the same amount of weather here. Did you know that Houston actually gets more rain than the city of Seattle per capita? And while Seattle gets a constant steady drizzle, Houston gets torrential downpours all the time. All the time. So, barring last year, we get generally more rain than Seattle. I mean, literally last year, I had never seen weathermen on my TV be so happy about disturbances in the Gulf because that meant a tropical storm or a hurricane was coming our way and would give us some rain. So, yeah. Well, hurricane season has actually officially started now that I think about it. So, we'll be watching the Gulf with both interest and distress for a while. Yay for living on the Gulf Coast. Woo! Yeah. So, I guess my point is with just thinking about all this rain, I'm just thinking about what's going on elsewhere. I mean, overall, if you think about the state of this country and just the state of the world in general, things may not look too hot, but that's your perspective on things. Yeah, we've got lots of wars and people don't get along, and we've also got crap economies all over the world. And I think I just swallowed a cherry, but anyways. But with all these things, there's still some good left in the world. I know there is, because, well, people care. And we focus so much on the negative and so much on the bad that people forget that there are actually good people out in the world. And that's why we're so stunned when someone does a good deed, or we find a story about a fireman rescuing a kitten from a tree. It's like, because nobody talks about those kinds of things anymore. It's all about, oh, this is what's going on in the election. This is what this politician did. We found this politician sleeping with this so-and-so person and buying drugs from them. We found that, you know, the economy in this country's going bad. Now the economy in this country's going bad. Oh, the Eurozone's in crisis. The Middle East is in crisis. Well, let me tell you something. Certain parts of this world have been at crisis since the end of certain world wars. Like, take the Middle East, for instance. One of the main reasons why the Middle East is so at odds with each other at all times, because if you look at history, I'm talking historically here, guys, so please don't, at me, but if you look at things historically, things were fairly stable during the Ottoman Empire. Yeah, you had your uprisings, and yeah, you had a whole bunch of different things that went on during the Ottoman Empire, but things were generally stable. But after the fall of the Ottoman Empire, after World War I, you had a bunch of people who, a bunch of Westerners, okay, a bunch of Europeans that went in and drew maps. They sent a whole bunch of map makers, and they drew countries that looked aesthetically pleasing on the map, but they didn't take into account the actual people who lived there. This is the same thing that screwed us over in Korea and in Vietnam. We didn't look at the map. We didn't look at the people. Because we didn't look at these things, we're now paying the price for it years down the road. So, my advice to you is this. If you guys ever happen to become the winning power after the end of a great world war, take into account the people that live in the area that you're trying to draw out a new country, because you might stick, two warring groups in the same country. I mean, that's one of the reasons why the Czechoslovakians they broke apart after the fall of the Soviet Union, because as long as the Czechs and the Slovaks had the Russians to hate, they could get along, but as soon as the Russians are gone, it's like, oh wait, you're my enemy, and you're my enemy too. So away they broke. And the same thing could be said for Africa, because basically Europeans came in and said, oh, we're conquering, and we want this chunk and this chunk and this chunk, and we'll move this tribe and this tribe who've hated each other for hundreds upon hundreds of years into the same country and watch it all go. And then we'll all give you your freedom and your independence and set you free. Yeah. So there is a brief overview of world history for you. But seriously, guys, there is still some good left in the world. And although we've made screwed up mistakes in the past, let's hope that we never make them again, because we will learn from our history. Or at least I hope so. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video, and thanks for watching me ramble. Leave Ask Box in the questions or comments below on YouTube, and live journal, and I'll see you guys later.